Hello, and thank you so very much for joining me for today's session. I want to do a deep energy cord cleanse. I just did like a mini yoni steam, but I need to get a special chair. So I'm feeling a little bit better, more cleansed. I also did a spiritual wash, and I made rue as well as angelica with some bay laurel in a pot, and I did a shower rinse, and I incorporate all of these healing remedy, Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, her beautiful plant medicines that really nurture our temples as well as our spirits, as well as purify us from like how others hold you, not in indifference, but they hold you to a state of disadvantage, and then like their whole narrative becomes attached to that state, and then it projects to other people, and then it can character assassinate you, and to where you can be targeted by several different groups, and it could be called secular witchcraft, and then it could be just projections that aren't true, like whether they're like pushers and they push things on other people to make you look like the villain, and then they push your villain story, that false narrative, and spin it, and then they put it into the masses to where, let me just get my rings on because I need my rings, to where they will smear campaign your name, or they will, kind of give this false story about you and kind of spread these like negative connotations that they hold in their vessel or their minds, and then they will like push these, and a lot of the times they're like made up, like rumors, slander, gossip. A lot of the times they're so false, and then it's like it connects to them feeling insecure in their being, to the point where they know that they're not doing, like maybe they're not living their truth or their moral compass, so then they don't know how to express this, they don't know how to be authentic, so then they kind of like project this onto you. It's like a narrative, and then they make you look bad, because of their own emptiness inside or their own flaws. So today, this is where I wanted to get at. I want to clear that. So I'm going to be using my beautiful black tourmaline smoky quartz big arrowhead here. He really helps with the Mother Gaia energies, and we're going to just start pulling and cutting. Okay? So I really like to start with the pineal gland, because when these false narratives spin on you, you're going to feel it hook into your mental, to where it's going to affect you mentally and emotionally. It will affect your mental health, because you'll see people who you truly once, like even caregivers, they so like the energy vampires or the lower archon vibrational spirits, they will hook into like people and like your family, like your inner circle, and then they will because just say you didn't approve of them, or they know that you see right through them, or I don't know, you don't give them attention, or you don't give them the desire that they try to hook into you, and you know what I mean? And then they start trying to make people look bad because they didn't get what they wanted from you. So it's like, whether it's a reaction or they wanted you to do something and you saw right through it, or whether they just didn't like you, or whether they saw that you didn't approve or like them, or maybe it's some sort of like insecurity, then they will spin this falsified like narrative, and they'll paint you as like the black sheep, or they will paint you as someone that you're not, and then that will affect you emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. And then on an energetic level, which I want to talk about, is so like first, everything is a frequency and energy. So like your thoughts, what you think, you can manifest them. You could push people away with your thoughts. You could pull things into your direct reality. Okay, we're all alchemists of our own life. Like, we're co-creators, creators. A lot of us have a lot of inner trauma or turmoil from childhood that we need to work through, and adolescence. So like a lot of people talk about trauma from childhood trauma. Today I'm going to be cutting cords from adolescence trauma, okay? Adolescence trauma is very real, especially if you're like a sexually battered, abused person from adolescence. Something happened to me by my own father, and I'm not going to get into it this session, but that day I basically like told my mom what happened, and I like left the situation before it could escalate, and ever since then she like completely was just like, no, and she like dismissed my truth, and I was 12 at the time, and it was just like, I lost my dad. I didn't trust him anymore. Okay, I couldn't trust him anymore. He became intensely verbally abusive when the secret was out. He became very like attackful. Like he would just like target me, you know. And then, you know, he also was affected by Agent Orange and the Marines and things like that. So then like, and then my ex-brother-in-law, he knew I didn't approve of him. So it was like these negative masculines now with like issues, you know, with me from my father putting things in my mother's head. And then it's like my ex-brother-in-law who battled with really bad drug addiction that came into my life when I was 9.5, 10 and married my sister. So I'm trying to clear that out of me, and I'm also trying to help you understand that even on heavier days like this, where you feel like, okay, God, like I'm weighed down by my trauma, like what is this ever going to end? Like, you know, sometimes like the trauma memories come in waves, right? Like I don't know if you've seen, there's a movie and it has Mila Kunis in it, and like she gets these like waves of trauma in her like DNA activation, like cognitive brain functions in her body, and she's like always going back to them. This is like how trauma can manifest if you're not careful to clear this out. So today we will be addressing how trauma can stick not only in your physical vessel and be stored as trauma in your body, but how it hooks into your energy field, okay? A lot of people are not aware of this because they're not spiritually awakened. It's not their fault. So like I'm here to come and awaken you to how this type of really heavy trauma, you know what I mean? And luckily like can be like washed out of you, because eventually you're going to attract partners the way that your sexual abuser or your verbal abuser or your traumatic caregiver abusers or your abusers, what they did to you. You're going to attract traits and characteristics in your future boyfriends, your girlfriends, your spouses, your soul ties, okay? And it's really important to be conscious of like, okay, I'm God, I'm goddess, I'm the co-creator or the creator of my life. It feels heavy. I'm getting these traumatic memories, like something triggered me today, like this is just not fair, like when is this going to end? And I know that cycle of those negative thought forms, which is part of the energy from the negative trauma and the trauma giver, because they really are trauma givers, to the point where when, you know, just say like, for instance, like when I told the truth and I told my mother what had happened, she never protected me. She didn't leave him. She stayed with him for his benefits, you know. And like I love my mom. Like I'm not throwing her under the bus, but it's just like she did what she could do for her at the time. But at the same time, like me as a mother, like it's like I could never, like I would literally, that person would have been like, you know what I'm saying? Wouldn't even be here right now. And then it was just like, just so much heavy shit that followed with my ex-brother-in-law and my sister, who was more like an Uresh Kegel, whereas I'm Inanna, and you could go into my last video, which is uploading right now. But the energies in the universe, they're making us divine feminines really shed our trauma now. So I am a divine feminine, and a lot of spiritualists were shaped from our trauma. We're shaped from the harder walks of life. We don't, you know, we're not one of those influencers to where like we're always sipping champagne on an airline, or we're going to Colombia and then we're going to be in Miami and then LA and New York. Like no, like our paths are very complicated because we must go through soul shattering experiences, you know. And a lot of us, like I was talking about like the Phoenix bird rising, 777, 7 others birds, okay? So like some of us can be Phoenix, bird, goddess incarnates from the 7 others realm. Some of us can be cosmic goddess incarnates, earthbound goddess. Some of us can be all of that, you know, because you could be all of that if, you know, the divine puts that within you and then really tests you, and you go through spiritual ascension, evolvement, level up, to where the divine places many soul shattering experiences so you can learn, okay, so this is why I went through this, and okay, the 777, the bird phoenix, you know, realm is calling me, or Goddess Bast and Goddess Nyx, the shadow goddesses, are calling me, or maybe Hecate is calling you, which is kind of a consort of Ereshkigal, which is the opposite of me, because I was very much a light feminine before, like, my ex-brother-in-law came in and brought, like, a lot of darkness to my father's house and to my mother's mind, and, like, to my life in this lifetime. So, but it was something that I learned. I don't harbor any ill will towards my mother for how she couldn't grasp what my dad did to me. Okay, she did the best that she could. She handled it the way that she handled it. I don't even have ill will against, you know, my ex-brother-in-law. He was battling an addiction at the time. Apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, his mother had committed suicide and tried to leave, to where he had his own demons he was fighting, and I can't blame him. But I just remember memories of trauma, if this makes sense, to where, like, okay, like, I was a little girl, and I have a brother who's 6 years older than my sister's about 10 years older than me, like 9.5, 10 years older. And then it's just like, my ex-brother-in-law, he went to go do crack on OBT, Orange Blossom Trail, and then, like, my dad always had cars for them, and then he would steal, like, a Thunderbird or a Geo Metro, and then next thing you know, the next day, it's just like, the crack dealer or whoever calls him from the hotel and was like, hey, do you know this white boy named Matt? Like, come and pick him up. He has a red Thunderbird. And then my dad and my brother, my brother and me were little at home watching this, and then my dad and my sister would go, because she was the oldest, and then my mom would have Matt's favorite spaghetti, his favorite food, which is spaghetti, boiling on the stove, and he would never pay consequences. So this is kind of where the trauma hits, because it's just like the amount of damage that, like, I don't know, my sister has done to me, and how she's, like, wrongfully smeared my name, and how she's, like, manipulated and hooked into my mom and turned, like, her sons against me, and, like, turned, like, because, like, her and my ex-brother-in-law, as well as my dad, they hooked into my mom, and then they started turning people against me slowly. And then there was a time where, you know, I still till this day don't understand why he never was made to be held accountable, or why they didn't put him on child support, or why they didn't take him to court, and why he wasn't held accountable to raise his sons at least evenly, like, you know what I mean? And then, like, later on in life, there was a time when my sister was going through something very, very mental, and it was, you know, she was throwing knives near my daughters, and I had a baby at the time. I have my baby, Caleb, and he was being affected. She was throwing glass, like 7-day candles, against the sliding glass door where his play yard, his crib was. And I thought I was gonna bust through and, like, hit him in the head or, like, do something. So I had no choice but to Baker Act her, and then, like, Marchman Act my nephew, because he was, like, talking about doing acid, and I had kids in the house, and I was trying to protect my kids, to the point where his brother came up and then swore under oath these lies and saying, oh, she burns candles, she thinks this and this, and, like, all of my gifts he used as a mental illness, to the point where it followed me to the plaza in the car. And then when they did an investigation on me, my ex-mother-in-law came. So this is secular witchcraft. See, it's different people, and I was being targeted. So then she called, and she was like, I don't want the babies to live in the car. So then DCF came, they tested me. I passed the drug test, I passed the urine test, because I don't put that stuff in my body. I don't smoke weed. It's a personal preference. If you do, okay, I don't judge you. If it works for you, whatever. But then, so she came for me, and then, like, people at Denny's came for me and was like, you got kids living in the car? And they were, like, all up in my business. And then people from the hotel behind me were like, you got a baby in there? You know what I'm saying? So then it was just, like, McDonald's workers, Burger King workers, Denny's workers, like, filing these police reports or these DCF reports. And then it was just like that thing that my second nephew came, because he got vindictive and did for, you know, he got me back for Marchman acted and my nephew, just because I was protecting my kids, because my nephew was also, he put a hammer on top of my Caleb's onesie on the trash, like, and then one time me and my daughters were warming noodles from Publix, his favorite teriyaki noodles, and we were in the bathroom, and then my oldest nephew was here, and then, like, all of a sudden, like, his hot sauce was sprinkled in the noodles, and when I fed it to my son, because we were in the bathroom, he started screaming, and then it got worse to the point where, like, he mixed a chemical like formaldehyde with, like, chihuahua poop or whatever type of poop, and then put it, like, in between my son's plastic and my rubber. And then when I tell the truth, You know what I'm saying? It's not believed. But then they want to spin lies on my character and say I did things that I never did, and then everyone wants to believe them and back them, whether it's the firefighters or the cops or DCF. And DCF never took my kids. Like, I voluntarily made friends with a cop named Yiza in the plaza, and I was like, please have, you know, their father, who was being extremely spelled and hard-headed at the time, coming pick up my daughter so they don't have to suffer in the car, you know, because I was on 2 HUD waiting lists. Okay, I was trying to protect my kids and my baby from my nephew, who was just being very malicious because he has this really dark side. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, and then when I tried to protect my kids, now my sister uses it against me. Oh, you don't have your kids now. You didn't even take care of your kids. I'm like, really? Because like when you were in and out of Baker Acts, me and mom always were with Cody and Christian. Like, you were always in and out of the hospital, like overdosing on so much shit, and Matt was at the beaches with, you know, dancers and like drug addicts, and literally me and mom and dad were always here with the kids, and they were like running around and doing whatever the fuck they wanted. And like, she would call me, I have to call into work, whether I was a cocktail waitress for like 3 years, whether I had to dance for a fucking month to pay my bills, because I know what it's fucking like, okay, and I don't judge you. And if I fucking have to work at Linens and Things or Victoria's Secret or be a server at Olive Garden, or all the jobs that I took, and I helped sit here, take care of them, to now to the point where they manipulated my mother and archonically went into her and were like, don't have her kids at the house. So it's just like very unjustified, and it's very like vindictive, it's malicious, it's underhanded, it's wicked. And then it's like all of that shit that they put on my family, like my upbringing with my brother and my parents and our house, like all of the German cockroaches, the messes, the newspapers all over the floor, the clothes all over the floor, Matt's drug use, and all of this shit was allowed. But I can't even have my kids in my dad's house, and my dad's deceased now, to the point where now she uses, you can't even take care of your kids aren't even with you. And it was like a complete destiny swap, injustice, to the point where this is why I'm sharing my story, because, and then they will flip the narratives of what's inside of them onto my character, and then they'll spread it like at my daughter's school, to DCF workers, to neighbors down the street, like Robin and Ryan or Juan or whoever will listen to the bullshit. And then it's just like, you know, so now, like, when I walk by, I feel a complete energy vibe, like, and I'm so energetic sensitive, like, and I literally saw them talking to Juan Burgos, literally outside. It's a neighbor on the street, and it's just like, wow. So it's like, you can get away with all of this. I literally can't even have my kids in the house just because I was trying to protect them. You know what I'm saying? I was really trying to protect my children. And then they'll use the 9-to-5 matrix. Oh, well, you didn't have a 9-to-5 job. I had Moon Goddess Charm on Store Envy and, you know, Shop Envy and Etsy. I had that before they came for that business. And then I was set up to the point where they were like, oh, okay, well, you know, you can use, this was before all of those attacks. You could use, it's your birthday month, you could use my credit card to get as many candles as you want. And then I get like $100 worth of these big tin candles. It was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 candles, you know, homemade Etsy candles with like those herbs and those crystals at the time, because I couldn't make candles because my nephew was going to damage them, just like he threw away all my Sun Goddess magic herb labels, and he busted my archangel candles, and he tore the wings off my archangel statues, Michael, Uriel, and Raphael. And just like he keyed my red mini fridge and called me bitch and kept pushing it over one day in front of my oldest son. It was just like all of the damage that they've done. And then it's like at the same time they pull me back energetically, you know, and it's just like, wow, like, and then it's like they're able to just get away with this. It's just kind of like Erich Kegel and Inanna, about like how like much injustice that Erich Kegel did on Inanna, to the point where she never paid for killing her fucking sister. Just like my sister never truly paid the consequences of burning my face with her cigarette. She lied to everyone and said that I was trying to sleep with her black boyfriend, and I was like, I'm not. I don't care what color you are, but I was not trying to sleep with him, when she was the person who tried to sleep with my ex, who was mixed, and then she put that narrative of what she did to my ex and her intentions and spun it and put it on my character, to now where people in the family actually believe this bullshit. And I never tried to sleep with anything that was up in her, and I never try to sleep with another woman's man, because that's not how I roll. Like, literally, I do not like doing shit like that. So it's just like a lot of shit. So today, I guess maybe she triggered me because she woke up and she was being really extra and she was like blasting rap music. Okay, and I only had like 4 or 5 hours of sleep last night because I felt this monitoring spirit from my nephew's room just like keep like energetically like trying to fuck with me. It was just like, there's dark spirits in this house and they come from, there's like secrets hidden up in the attic and the garage. I know it's like a creepy, darker story. And then it's like, I don't know what my mother like hiding or like what's in her generational like ancestral bloodline, but it's something that her and my nephew know and I don't know. And it's like, it's in the vents of the house and they're called monitoring spirits. I don't know. It feels like a jinn, like Jinn or Djinn. And I know that that is Abrahamic, that ties to, you know, Muslims. But I would have to say that, like, I do kind of trust the Quran more than the actual Bible. So that's why. But I'm very, like, very much, like, Egyptian goddess, okay? Like, more than Babylonian, like, ancient, like, more than Sumerian, like, Mesopotamian. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Queen Inanna. Like, she was the first, you know? And then as well as Lilith, they don't talk about her in the Abrahamic text. She was actually the first wife of Adam, and Eve was the sister. So like Eve would be like Eresh Kegel to Lilith, right? So like if you're more like a free spirit and you're more like, I'm not gonna be subservient to someone and I'm going to stand up and speak my truth, that's Lilith and you awakening your power to stand up and speak your truth, you know, and be the way, the truth, and the light, you know what I mean? But sometimes the trauma and some people trigger you to whether they do things. So I guess in a way she kind of rage baited me this morning. And I heard her like talking really loud and then opening the closet door. And then I felt like her energy like trying to like fuck with me, you know? And like when you feel it anchor in, you know how people are. Like the back of your hand, I mean, she's my sister, so I know how she is. She was like trying to get a rise out of me. She was trying to like wake me up so I'd be in a bad mood, so I'd be exactly like this, so she could steal my good energy. And then I'm feeling the monitoring spirits. So let's talk about monitoring spirits. I have to use my real life examples because I don't know how else to. I can't be fake for the life of me. I cannot fucking like smile and laugh and just be like fucking fake, as this is just like the goddess in me. Like I have to just tell the truth. So today's energies, they're very heavy. So we go to the Leaf of Bay. And we ask it to reset us. And it's also the full moon energies I'm feeling, which I am a Cancer sun, unfortunately. So I feel very, very strongly, and I feel it's affecting my mood and my energy. So how do archons and monitoring spirits anchor you in energetically? Okay, so let's just burn this without harming ourselves. And we're gonna burn away all of this negativity, all of these negative ties. That lighter's done. And we are going to just burn all the trauma away from the past today and just live in our truth. And then like a lot of times I just like to put essential oils on the bay leaves so they spark right out, because if you do like regular lighters like this without essential oils, it's almost always you're gonna have to like light it 2 or 3 times. And then there's some Herba Santa leaf on here, and I tried to do a yoni cleanse today, and that was just kind of like, I need like a special chair to sit in because I was trying to squat over it, and I'm still like, I surpassed my 48-hour fast. So also like I'm moody because like I'm a Cancerian and I have not had like physical food in my body, and being a Cancerian and not eating, we get really moody, like really moody. I mean, it happens to like all signs, but it's just like we are like, it's not our fault because we're governed by the lunar, we're governed by the moon. So now that we're clearing out this trauma, we're gonna set our intentions to, we're gonna burn 1 more bay leaf, and then we're gonna set our intention to just fucking leave the goddamn past in the past today so we can move the fuck on and get what we need to get done. That's what I need to do, whether it's a full moon and a new moon, or I mean a full moon in Leo or not. Okay, so set your intentions while I burn this. I now release the past, I release the trauma, and I release the negative connotations, projections, projected onto my character, and the archonic monitoring spirits that try to control and, twist the fate of my life. I reverse every type of monitoring spirit, and I dismantle every dark arts witchcraft altar of me, and I also call my power back to me, and I call all of my energy and my power back to me from people, places, things, realms, times, and dimensions that have stolen my energy and my power. I call it back to me now, and I banish the lower vibrational energies that manifest in thought forms. You have no power over me. And then, you affirm this, and then it's good to keep amethyst around you. Okay, so we're going to kind of get into the mental space today of, okay, it's the full moon in Leo tonight. It's a lot of releasing. It's a lot of shedding old. It's a lot of coming into our truths, accepting about hard truths and traumas that had happened to us, but releasing them with love, or releasing them with truth or light, or whatever you want to release it with. So we're going to just come in here like this, and I'm gonna imbue some Reiki. It is a bit heavier. Full moons are always heavier for Cancerians. Okay, I also have an Aquarius moon. So my Cancer is in Sun. My Sun is in Cancer, I'm an Aquarius moon. And then I'm Scorpio rising. So it's just like, these conflicting, like, detaching as an Aquarius, but being so, like, emotional and, like, moody, and then, like, attached as a Cancer. And it's like, and then that mysterious, like, energy from Scorpio. And it's just like, and then I have my Leo in Venus, which is like a very passionate and fiery in love. So it's like kind of like all over the place. So I'm misunderstood a lot because my birth chart is like, wow. So we're going to clear out these misunderstandings. We're going to blow them away with my citrine and my, I don't know why I keep calling this tanzanite, but it is a Lemurian tangerine quartz. So yeah, she tried to definitely get a trauma response and trigger me today by doing her extra stuff, and it's just so fucking annoying. To like just seeing the amount and the audacity of like how much like they're able to get over on my lives and like fucking run free and get away with like all the damage that they did, and like never pay consequences or like true consequences. I'm trying to find my jade snake so I can pull this out of you. But I'm going to have to settle, unfortunately, for my, this is a beautiful bloodstone that I got from Leaves and Roots in Orlando with my jade, so we're just going to be pulling and blowing. And just pardon the ramble today because it's heavier from this lunar phase of the moon, and I'm feeling this intensely in my energy, and I'm just like, I need to just get up and make sessions no matter how moody I feel. No matter how much the trauma keeps seeping back, I need to just keep creating, because if I don't, then I'm not gonna let them win. They won for 40 years of my life. They had me like literally bound to them for fucking 40 years of my life, like dealing with their energy vampire crap, this lower vibrational dark cloud, these shadow men of energy. And my kids have seen it. They've seen the fucking dark entities. There's 3 of them attached to my oldest nephew, and 2 of them have red eyes and 1 of them have no eyes, and they're big, like Andromedan, like Archon reptilian men with like red eyes, and their shadows are black. And then like my nephew, he would draw them for me when he was little, like when I would babysit him, me and my mom, he would draw them, and then my kids would start drawing them. So it's just like a spirit attachment from his father. They also could be spirit attachments from trauma. So like unhealed trauma in the walls. If you don't wash your walls down with Florida water and keep your house clear of negative vibrations like this, shit like this can manifest and happen. And unfortunately, my mother kind of took advantage of my dad. I don't believe it was my dad's fault. I know he did a lot of shit to me, but he was really like influenced by Agent Orange, and he was trying to tell me the truth before he passed away, which he was medicated. And he was like a really kind-hearted soul when he was, you know, balanced on that medicine. Whereas before, it was my mom's responsibility to, you know, her being his fiduciary for his VA checks, it was her responsibility as his wife to get him balanced and to keep him on medication, which she didn't do. You know, there was a lot of things that my mom was neglectful at. I don't blame my mom. She did the best that she could with what she had to deal with. I love my mom. But it's just like, okay, as a mother now, even if my sister tells me, oh, you didn't have your kids, and she talks shit and she makes shit up and throws it out of her ass, but she was in psych wards and like she didn't even hold down jobs, like literally, and then she wants to accuse me of things that she feels guilty for her not being there for her own kids when they were little. You know, and I had to fucking sacrifice my relationships, my jobs to watch my nephews who she fucking raised, her and Matt, and how they are chronically hooked in my family, to basically hate me and spread these false narratives of me. To where like I'm this awful fucking person and they can't fucking stand me. Okay, if you can't stand me, then why don't you move the fuck out of my parents' house? Why are you still here? If you don't like me. Why are you trying to like overthrow me and my kids and my babies out of here though? If this is how you know you're toxic. Like, you don't like me? This is my dad's house. Your dad didn't buy this house, so why the fuck are you still here? Then move away then if you have such a problem with me. Don't fucking make it 80 degrees in the house and then like leave like your puppy in the cage and then fucking be barking knowing it's gonna ruin my Reiki sessions. Don't fucking open all the windows and the glass doors. It's demented, that's toxic. And then make it like 29 or 30 degrees in the house just because you don't like sage. I don't worry about when you blast music. I don't worry about when you smoke weed. So what the fuck is the problem? You know, and it gets you like that. And that's how they steal and siphon your good energy. So these are just like live examples of what I had to fucking deal with like this past weekend. To the point where I'm just like, whatever, dude, you want to paint my character and my name to be bad and be the villain or a devil in your story? Fine. You know what I mean? But don't keep trying to fuck with me and don't keep trying to trigger me and be extra and try to like, you know, do things like rage bait me. Like it was the coldest fucking night of the year in 27 years. This motherfucker had the windows open and the sliding glass doors and the bathroom door open and his mom's bedroom window open last night, and it was like, I don't even know, in the house. I don't even know. It was just so cold. And then he comes and turns the heat off at like 2 a.m. And I'm just like, he has to know he's fucking demented and fucked in the head. Like, he has to know this. If he doesn't know, then he's fucking using drugs to fucking mask the shit, because I don't know what else it is. I don't know what else it is. And like, it took his like the love of his life, it took her 4 years to see his true colors, and when he started mistreating her, she left. And this is why this room is wrecked. That door was off the hinges. These blinds are broken, they're cut in half. There's like several holes punched in the wall that like my mom had to get someone to like, you know, cover up and then like have us paint the room, and then the closet door is still broken off. And it's like always some demented, negative energy, low vibrational shit that happens. And then if I move to a hotel, boom, I got sucked back in. So this is Astrophyllite, and Shiva's Eye Gate. So this is where the fierce goddess energy of Inanna and all of my gods and goddesses come in. Okay? Because I have that fire in me. That phoenix bird rising. And I just can't even tell you about the amount of cars that they fucking damaged that I had. He keyed my Hyundai. He pulled the door handles off my Hyundai when I was pregnant with my baby, my last child of this lifetime. Then I was set up to where they had me trade my car for the SUV that was given to me from my mom, because his mom literally came back here after her boyfriend broke up with her and manipulated her and was like, oh, call her high school friend and then be like, okay, threaten her with the cops, then we're going to put her in jail and we're going to report the car stolen, but yet it was given to me. So these manipulations from these darker hooks, from these dark feminines, or these energy vampires, or these archons, or these reptilian alpha draconians, these shadow men, it's got to stop. So all of this low vibrational shit, us healers, whether you want to call us a witch and crucify our names or burn us at the fucking stake, I don't care, but we fucking have come into our power, and this is why we're alive now, and we're able to defeat and, you know, go against the grain and defeat the darker forces, because we are in our power. So if you're going through something heavy today or tonight, go under the moon and light some herbs and set some intentions. I release what no longer, or who no longer serves me. If you're in an environment and honestly you're intruding on someone else's environment, it's where this is my father's house and they're like, my nephew, I feel like he's an intruder. I feel like he really intrudes. It's like, go, like, you're 28, you don't have kids, like, go and get your own place. Like, go and get your own place, like with your mom or something, or don't just stay in an environment and then like try to make someone's life hell. It's not right. You're building nasty negative karma up for you in your next lives, to where someone else is going to do exactly what you're doing to me and to my kids. It's going to go back to you. So it's just like, people aren't conscious of this. Like, they're not aware that they're unknowingly building that negative karmic retribution tie that's going to follow them in lifetimes, you know, if they don't clear it. So I love you guys. Okay, this is what I get for not eating. See this? But it starts like manifesting, and like, I'm sorry, I might not even put this video out, to the point where the stress gets caught up, and then this is what happens. I'm just gonna burn some herbs because I felt like he was really triggering me the past couple of days, putting the heat on. You know, the pit bull was in here with me, thankfully. It was like fucking freezing in the house, and then like I was having to put on like long sleeve turtlenecks and like coats and jackets and blankets and scarves, and I had to do, you can go back to my videos and you could see where I had to bundle up in my father's own house. My father is rolling over in his grave right now. He does not want me to be controlled or to be pushed around by them. He hates it. And I'm so spiritually adept and open to the point where like he appears to me and he's like, I don't want the Buchanans in my house. Like, he tells me. And I'm just like, I don't know what you want me to do, because it's your wife who does this. I don't have any control over it. And then at this point, they just like severely archonically like just like hook into my mom, to where she's completely pulled in now. So, and I knew this was going to be such a heavy shadow, bad, dark problem right when his father walked into this house. I knew it was doomed. And it was just a battle. It's been a battle ever since I was 10. Ever since that fucking dude walked into my childhood and walked into my father's house. It's just been straight up darkness and problem after problem. And they can mask it with drug use. They can mask it with, you know, these fucking false narratives of my name, but they can never take away my power. They can never take away my life or my truth. Even if they kill me, my soul is going to live on. And they can't kill my spirit. That's why I keep shining, you guys. And let's burn some cinnamon stick so we can release these heavy vibrational energies. But this is what he's been doing. He's been intruding on my dad's house, and he can move the fuck out, and he doesn't want to. It's like, why can't you move with your dad? Or why can't your dad help you? Why was it always my parents? Why did he have to reincarnate into this family? Anyways, you guys, I'm going to end here with this release. I'm also going to do a bay leaf. I haven't broken my fast. But his mother and him, they've just been really trying me. And I've got my mother so hooked into their archonic agenda lies that I don't know if she'll ever come back. She's such in denial. It's just sad. It's so sad. And she even tells me that she like misses her grandkids, like my kids. And she knows. Remember, you are the light that shines and you are the love. No matter how heavy it feels right now, no matter how much you're going through, no matter if you're going through a dark night of soul phase or a soul shattering phase, or if you lost someone you love, or, you know, I've always dreamed of like, what would it be like if I came from a family of nurturers and caregivers who showed me warmth and love, you know? I felt like I would have flourished so much, but I'm coming into my power, and I've called all my power back to me. So I'm now just I'm coming into myself. I'm calling all of my power and my energy back to me. So I'm feeling good, but you know, there's heavy things that people have tried to do to sabotage my life that hooks into the archonic, reptilian, shadow, jinn realm, and those monitoring spirits. Okay, monitoring spirits can be in the walls. They hook in from like shadow influences like the jinn, and they can watch your life through animals. They can watch your life through like spiritual surveillance through the walls. You could Google this. This is a real thing. Monitoring spirits is a real thing. And these darker shadow, lower vibrational entities will hook into your environment if you're not careful to cleanse. And I mean really cleanse. Like, make sure no foul spirits or no foul people walk into your home like my parents did to me. Make sure you hang rosemary at your door. Make sure you sage your house regularly, or you burn bay leaf and lavender, or you burn yagruma and quita maldición for curse breakers daily, or you burn herba santa, you know, and make sure you spread salt across your windows and your doors, as well as bury 4 bind runes of protection, like Rado and other runes, at the 4 corners of your property. Hang eucalyptus in your shower, like herbs and salt, and then put like black tourmaline as well as selenite. Okay, like this. This is why all of these things exist. Smoky quartz, that will put a force field of protection around you, okay? Because this is some heavy shit that we're up against. I mean, it is some heavy shit. And all I could do is vibe in my truth and in my light and embody my love and let my love shine out to the world, okay? And protect myself and declare our energetic boundaries. I declare that my energy is fortified. I am protected. And you can call on your spirit animal deities, okay? So let's call on them now. And I want to get my chevron amethyst for this. Excuse me. Black cat, spirit guide, mammals. Dolphin, spirit guide, whale mothers. Insects, spirit, spiders, ants, dragonflies, butterflies, moths, black panthers, tiger, cheetah, leopard, lions, cosmic lions, ethereal fairies. Spirit guides, thank you for being with us. I ask that you fortify our auras, our energetic boundaries, keep us safe, and keep us in a safe haven, protected away from all lower vibrational, darker shadow entities, all hooks. Protect us from any types of archonic influences that maybe pry through monitoring spirits, and protect our meridian points, our chakras, our physical vessels, and our spirits across all realms, dimensions, times. And I also call all of my power, my energy back to me, okay, across all dimensions, times, from people, places, things that have stolen my energy. And I call all of my true destiny and my goddess or my god birthright back to me. What is mine? Come back to me now. 3 times 3 times 3, as I will it, so mote it be. So then we affirm this. And we just vibe as high as we can. What do you guys think? You think I should break the fast? Do you think that I should make some eggplant and have like an eggplant spinach salad? with some eggs and some salsa verde, or you think I should just push for eating tomorrow around the energy vampires. Anyways, I love you guys. Lots of light, lots of truth to you. Remember, if you are awakening, welcome. It doesn't get harder, it gets more real, but you were built for this. You will get stronger. I promise you, you'll get stronger. I love you guys, and always let your light and your gift shine out to the world and act from your heart chakra, your divine God, Goddess, heart space. I love you. Blessed be.